My name is Hasnat Ellahi, and I will be your moderator for this online collaboration regarding Global Dignity Day. Before we start, I would like to share the rationale behind this online collaboration, and that is the exchange of ideas globally, so that more emphasis can be placed on this important topic and we can learn each other's point of view for our better understanding, while also helping to spread the message of dignity further out and taking the celebration of dignity from one day to every day, because we believe dignity is for everyone, everywhere, and every day. Now, I would want all the panelists from Beacon House Malaysia to please introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Kareena. I'm from Beacon House, Inai, Malaysia.
Hi, my name is Ryan, and I'm from Beacon House, Inai, Malaysia.
Thank you. Panelists from Beacon House Kharian, please introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Zahra Noor and I am from Beacon House, Kharian, Pakistan.
Hi, my name is Rehan Tariq and I'm from Beacon House, Pakistan.
Thank you. Right, so now that we're familiar with each other and know each other's names, let's jump straight into our first question and initiate this discussion without any further delay, as we have some important things to touch on. The first question is about the basic concept of dignity. What comes to your mind when you think of dignity? Or what do you think of when you hear the word dignity? So in simple words, the definition of dignity. Beacon House Malaysia will speak first. So I request Ryan to share his thoughts first.
Hi, so I believe that all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. So dignity is a state of being deserving of honor and respect, but it is much more than that. Dignity is a sense of being appreciated as a person, and everyone, regardless of color, religion, intellect level, or other characteristics. And everyone deserves and should have it, and no one has the right to take away a person's dignity. But to be worthy of dignity, you must respect and appreciate oneself. Someone with dignity carries him or herself well. So, for example, if you lost a competition and you say nasty things about your opponent and try to undermine them, you are indeed acting without dignity. But if you graciously congratulate the opponent and accept the results, then you are behaving in a dignified manner. We also talk about human dignity, which is an idea of what separates human from animals. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Now, Rehan, representing Beacon House Kharian, would you like to share your thoughts?
Yeah, sure. So dignity is a word we often hear about. We are taught when we are young that it is something we should have. It is one of those abstract words that we really get the true definition of yet. We need it to have a fulfilling life. Despite the fact that it is a part of our self-image, we often do things in our life that take away from it. Part of this is what we do not know the true meaning of dignity, and part is that we do not understand how complex it is. Here are some things you need to know about dignity. Human dignity to me means not only possessing strong morals that help society to prosper and improve, but following through on them. Every human being has the basic right of respect, both for himself and by his fellow man. Every person has the right to freedom and to express his moral beliefs through words and actions that will help him grow as he uses his talents to help others. People have the right to be free of fear. They have the right to find peace in the understanding and acceptance of who they are, but only to the extent that their right do not intrude on the rights and belief of others. Each person's right ends where the dignity of others begins. Thank you.
Thank you. Both of you, Ryan and Rehan, you have really given us, some precious input on what you think dignity is. And to sum this all up, dignity is a right of every human, which ensures that each human is given honor, respect, and is treated respectfully and ethically. As all agreed, all humans have equal value, so should be treated equally. Dignity implies that every person holds value And as Ryan said, dignity is a sense of being appreciated as a person because every person matters regardless of color, religion, or any other characteristics. Dignity is something very unique. And as Rehan said, we don't usually understand how complex it is, and we often do things that take away from it. The moment you look down on someone or think of someone as inferior, you go against the very definition of dignity. Moving forward to the next part of today's talk, which is more about the principles of dignity. Which dignity principle is more close to your heart and why? Kareena, I would like for you to share your beliefs on this first.
Okay. Well, the dignity principle that is closest to my heart is equality and fairness to all. I dislike being discriminated or being stereotyped, as I'm sure everyone does too. For example, in my day to day life, I like to be judged according to my capabilities. For example, me being a prefect, I want to be judged by my overall character and values rather than purely on how well I do in my studies and how active I am in partaking sports, as that is not what is important when taking on that role. It's more on how well I can connect with people and how I treat others and listen to others fairly. In carrying out my duties, I always believe in fairness rather than being judgmental. I feel like everyone should be given a chance to show and express themselves for who they are so we could all better understand them. In conclusion, my point is at the end of the day, if you want to be treated fairly, you should treat others the same way. Thank you.
Thank you. Zahra, would you like to share which dignity principle you value the most?
Yes. I like the fourth dignity principle the most, which is dignity, independence, and empowerment, because I believe that dignity is a basic human right, which means that everyone treats you as an equal. You're not inferior to anyone else, nor are you superior to anyone else. So it cannot be achieved without independence, because on if you're dependent on someone, they're obviously going to see you as someone who's inferior to them. So independence is a key value if you want to lead a dignified life. So that's why independence is important, is like crucial to lead a dignified life. And the second thing is empowerment. I believe that the people who have been wronged before, or people who have been through some kind of a traumatic incident, they understand it better than anyone else. So if we empower them and we make them advocates for that certain field or category, they will advocate for it better than anyone else because they've been through that before. So I believe that someone who has been wronged can be empowered, and you can change the narrative just by doing that. So dignity can only be completed with independence and then empowerment. It's a three-step process which cannot be complete without any one of the processes. Thank you.
Thank you. Many dignity principles exist. Zara said the closest principle to her is dignity, independence, and empowerment. She, like we previously stated, that dignity is a right of each person. She went on to elaborate about independence and empowerment. Independence from unjust practices and injustices, while also implying that each human has the independence to practice their rights without any fear. She said that by empowering people, we could make them functional parts of society. The other dignity principle, which Kareena talked about, was equality and fairness for all. Equality itself is a prime component of the word dignity. Inequality can be a very cruel thing, as it paves way for injustice and violence. Kareena, when talking about fairness, made a very valid point when she said everyone should be given a chance to show and express themselves. I also liked when you discouraged being judgmental and gave the example of being a prefect. So the participants have shared their valuable input for 2 points of discussion. Now moving forward to the third phase. Why do you think dignity is important in various fields of life? Ryan, the focus is on you.
So I believe that dignity is really, really important because being dignified entails being kind, loyal, humble, and fearless. But to live a dignified life, one must be able to reach their full potential and have the freedom to make the best decision possible. And all acts should be guided by and based on the notion of dignity. People can only achieve things like being outstanding in school, socializing, living a happy life, and maybe making a difference in the world unless they have dignity. Being treated with dignity also entails treating others with it. Human dignity encapsulates the idea that each and every human is being unique and deserve to be treated with the utmost respect and care. Thank you.
Thank you. Rehan, would you like to have a go at this question and share your thinking?
It means being valued and respected for what you are, what you believe in, and how you live your life. Treating other people with dignity means treating the way we'd like to be treated ourselves. Every human being has the right to lead a dignified life and fulfill his or her potential. Young, old, rich, poor, all over the world, we all share the right to be treated with dignity. We treat others with dignity each time we lend a hand to someone who needs it. Whether it's a stranger asking for help, a stranger asking for advice, or someone who is struggling with something, we all share the right to be treated with dignity. This is not about dignity as we should it we should tell it's important to avoid injustice, discrimination, physical violence, and ethnic religious insults. We all know about dignity as we should tell its importance to avoid injustice, discrimination, physical violence, and ethnic religious insults. Thank you.
Thank you. Basically, a sense of dignity promotes peace, prosperity, equality, and leads to a happy, wider society. Being treated with dignity allows one to become more aware of his or her value, and as both Ryan and Rehan said, dignity helps people to do well at school, make friends, socialize, excel in life, and make a difference in this world. Something that Rehan said and I thought was really relevant to this point was he said that we should tell the importance of dignity to avoid injustice, discrimination, physical violence, and so on. Moving forward, the next is actually not a question, but more of a personalized opinion. Each panelist will have the opportunity to share dignity success story. This can be at either a personal level or a school level. Ryan, Kareena, Rehan, and Zahra, you will all share, starting with Beacon House Malaysia.
I'll start first. I'm not sure, and I can't say if this is a success story. However, I did feel pretty proud of myself after this day. I was involved in a charity event a few years ago with my father in a Buddhist temple, whereby a donation drive for the elderly was taking place. There were prayer blessings done from the Buddhist monks in conjunction with some items being sold, which my father bought some of the items to contribute to the charity drive. Me in turn, however, was involved in helping to pack and arrange the items for sales. And I also served food to the elderly and all the staff present who helped out during the event. It was very touching and humbling to see the joy in their eyes when they received goodie bags and were being served food and participating in some of the activities we laid out for them. These activities that we prepared were done so we could engage and form a bond with them. And also, it helped to form kind of a sense of belonging for them. In summary, the feeling of being in service to people in need felt very fulfilling and rewarding. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for sharing, Karina. Ryan, do you have a story which you can share?
Yeah, sure. So personally, I would like to share some of my really unique experience. So 3 years back, I participated in a bake sale organized by my Interact Club for the donation drive of the Blessing Shelf to raise funds for people in need. And while I was really reluctant to go at first, I went nonetheless. And various types of items were available for purchase. I went to my booth and assisted in the preparation of the drinks and food I was supposed to sell. And despite the fact that it was quite time consuming, me and my friends were still able to finish preparing. But this is when I realized people strolled by without saying thank you, or when they spilled drinks and without apologizing to the cleaners, and everyone was simply being really selfish and self centered. And that's when I realized how often we forget to treat people with dignity, affirmation, and the attention and credit they deserve. As a result, I implore everyone to be kind and courteous to other people and put yourself in their shoes and try to understand and empathize with them. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Now, Beacon House Kharian.
I'd like to share mine first. I have some friends who belong to marginalized communities, and in my country, marginalized communities are usually based on religion. So these people were religious minorities, a part of them. So they told me about the discrimination that they face in our country because of their religion or uh, any other, like because of the group that they belong to, because of the communities that they belong to. And those were honestly horrifying accounts of what happened to them. So I wanted them to share those stories with the world because people become more empathetic when they know what you're going through and when they understand it properly. So I told them to share it with the world, and what they had to say was that their voice was not strong enough. They didn't have a good platform to do so, and sharing those accounts made them feel threatened by the community. So that's when I thought that I could use my platform and my voice to amplify their stories because people would understand me better and they'd be more willing to listen to me than they would be to those people. So I shared their accounts, I advocated for them, I talked about their narratives, I actually talked to people and had debates with them about the treatment of those groups. And what I understood was that people usually are willing to listen to you when you're not a part of those communities. And people did listen to me, and people believed me. And then I believe that I changed the perspective of a lot of people. And then gradually, they also gained the confidence and the strength to speak for themselves, at least in our social circles. So I believe that that was a dignity success story for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Zahra. Rehan, please.
I don't know if it's a success story, but I'd like to share a short story. So, back in 2019, me and my friends started a non profitable charity organization in which we donated books, clothes, food to less unfortunate people. And we do this activity every year in Ramadan. That's all. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. So, helping people at the temple, participating in a donation drive, raising the voice for minorities, and donating books to the less privileged. I think everyone here has really given us a valuable success story. Something I really liked, which Ryan said, was we should put ourselves in the shoes of others before we judge someone. Very valuable information, very valuable stories. Let's move to the last part of today's discussion, which holds utmost importance and provides us something to work on and strive for. The question is, how can we make it a part of our day-to-day practices so that it is not restricted to one day's celebration, rather spread over the whole year? So, Kareena, would you like to shine some light on this question first?
Yeah. Well, for starters, we can begin with making sure that our society is filled with love and kindness, as well as respect and dignity. First, treat everyone with kindness, not because they're kind hearted, not because you are. As confusing and cheesy as this might sound, it is true, more than often. We only help those that we like and care about, and I'm not saying that this is a bad thing, but it is simply not enough. We should treat those that we dislike or those who sometimes drives us crazy, and maybe even those that we don't even know the same way. As the saying goes by Eric Hoffer, kindness can become its own motive. We are made kind by being kind. Real kindness comes from within. It means that we shall treat people with kindness without expecting anything in return. To enforce this kindness, we can place quotes on banners, play cards, and posters, and maybe even graffitis with kind words to remind people each day. And well, hopefully, it will sink into their subconscious mind and become part of their character without even realizing. We could lead by example by practicing what you preach, because kindness is contagious. Thank you.
Thank you, Karina. Now, because more ideas never hurt, Zara, would you like to provide us with your valuable ideas as well?
Yes, I believe that if we want to celebrate dignity, we should make it a daily practice, and the way we can do it is by making it a core value for everyone. And the way to teach those core values to everyone, we would have to start from students and from the schools. And the way we can do it is by making changes at the policy level, because at an individual level, change will always be limited. So the way we can start at the policy level is by invoking empathy in students and by making sensitivity a part of the curriculum, so that they start studying it right from the start. And also we can have talks like these more regularly, like maybe once a month or twice a month. Then we can start with some practical examples, maybe some charity drives, maybe some, walls of kindness, maybe we can leave messages, kind messages for people. So if we make students practice this every single day, we teach it to them and we show them practical examples, it will gradually become a part of their belief system, and it will become a core value for them, which is what we want. And then empathy and sensitivity and dignity will come naturally to them, and hopefully they won't treat anyone in an undignified manner. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you. So that was the last question. Moving forward, I would like to really kind of recap what we've been through. We've talked about the definition of dignity. We've talked about the principles, why dignity is important every day. Then we shared success stories. Then this was the last question. We talked about how to make dignity spread over the whole year instead of just one day. I would like to thank the panelists for sharing their stories. We hope they can encourage more people to do the same. The stories from both sides were amazing and had wonderful value. We hope to inspire many more people to create such success stories and regarding dignity and respecting others. The ideas shared by both sides also will help Dignity Day to not just be a particular day, but to be stretched out to the course of people's everyday lives. Pretty much what main point of this whole discussion actually was. Now let's have a look at the ideas compiled. Let me just share my screen in a second. Is it visible, everyone?
Yes,
Yes,
it
it
is.
is.
Great. So this is the live online space where I have gathered all the ideas shared by just Zahra and Kareena. We will share the link of this space through mail so that we can keep on adding our good practices here and keep on inspiring each other, and we can make this exchange of ideas happen in a real sense. Again, it was just all these ideas were shared by just Zahra and Kareena, but it's not limited to just the both of them. Anyone can share, and the more people share, the more effective this would be. Right, so moving forward, thank you so much to everyone for participating in this productive discussion. We hope your point of views and ideas have inspired one another, and hopefully we can have these type of collaborations in the year ahead. Now, before I actually wrap everything up, I would like to share something which happened approximately 5-6 minutes before the session actually started at 1. I went, my throat was dry, and before this session began, I was like, I'll have a glass of water. So I went to the PR office next door for a glass of water. And while I was sitting down, we kind of had a discussion. I was like, sir, please pray for me. The session's about to start. I just hope it goes well. And he asked me for the definition of dignity. I told him it's treating everyone equally. And then, with the exchange of ideas back and forth, he ended by saying, dignity is treating people honorably and respectfully. So I told him I'd make sure to include this in here. So yeah, shout out to you, sir. Let me just share a quote that I found would be an excellent way to wrap it all up and solidify our message. Every life deserves a certain amount of dignity, no matter how poor or damaged the shell that carries it. Take care, everyone, and thank you.
Thank you, Hasnat. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.